everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video, we are going to be building a sunflower home. And yes, it is a sunflower home because I put a lot of sunflowers in this build and I'm really proud of the outcome because it's very bright and yellow, and I kind of got inspired by Van Gogh but at the same time I wanted to do something very colorful and bright for springtime, which will be ending in a month, I think, according to my internet research. But yeah, I really got inspired by Van Gogh and also the springtime, and so I decided to build a house which is basically filled with a lot of yellow colors, and the main theme for the house is of course yellow. And I had a ton of fun building this house because it is very beautiful and I really like it. And unfortunately, I think that the structure that I built is kind of similar to the structure that I built one of the builds that I've done, which is I think it is the Brindleton, something about like cottage or like, I don't know, I forgot what I built, but the structure is similar to this one. Unfortunately, I feel very bad because I'm like using the same structure again, but I really like the outcome for this one. But anyways, I really hope you guys will like this too. If you do like this video and want to download this house is already up in the gallery under my ID, which is simmerkhai, and I really hope you guys will like this one because I think I did a pretty good job. Even though the structure is kind of repeated, I would say I did my very best for this one. But now is the 13th of May, and I would just like to wish everyone a happy Eid Mubarak to the ones who are celebrating. And if you don't know, Eid Mubarak is basically the celebration that Muslim people celebrate after finishing a month of fasting, and it is also usually traditionally we eat a lot of good food and also like receive money from people who have worked, and also our aunts and uncles and also our grandparents. But this year and last year I didn't get to see my grandparents and basically my aunties and uncles and cousins because of COVID, and it really sucks, but I guess we cannot do anything about that. But once again, just a happy Eid Mubarak to those who are celebrating. And I think I'm publishing this video like 1 week after, but I guess it's still valid because Eid Mubarak is basically a month of like just celebration. But anyways, back to this build. You can see that I already put up the sunflowers, and I like the sunflowers that came with the base game, but I don't like the orientation that I put it in because whenever I put the sunflowers, most of the flowers on one single sunflower object only faces one direction, and it really sucks because it's just like mono-directional and it's just not so like dimensioned in a way because it's very straight and just very awkward, I would say. But however, I also like rotated some of the sunflowers so it wouldn't look too uniform. But do let me know what you guys think in the comments if you like this build or not, and also the sunflower concept, because this is actually my first time doing a solid color build. But for this build also, I will be adding a lot of like whites and reds and some blues just to like put different colors in it a bit, because if I were to like do it only yellow color, it would look too bright. And also it's not really nice in my opinion. So I added in some colors, but not a lot of them, but I made sure that the focus of the color that I use is only yellow and white. But as for the landscaping took me a short time because I kind of knew what I wanted to go for. And basically for the landscaping, I added in the flowers and also the grass patches from the Island Living pack, and they are a few of my favorite items to use when it comes to landscaping, because as you can see from the grass structure from the Island Living pack, it is very like textured and it doesn't look too like two-dimensional. Like the other grasses in the base game, and I really like the grass. And I also used the bougainvillea ones from the, I think, Island Living or Jungle Adventure, either one of those. But for the wall decorations also, I put the red flowers from the Jungle Adventure pack just to like fill it up a bit with a bit more color. But for the back part of the house, there will also be like a patio. I used like this structure that I think came with the Spanish month update or something like that. But you will see me adding that later on in the video towards the end, because that is, I mean, the back part of the house is the area that I will be working on the last. But anyways, we are moving on to the interior. The interior was pretty quick for me to like furnish. I made sure that I kept using the colors of yellow and white and also some red into the interior. And I wanted to make sure that it really looks well blended with other colors, especially the yellow, because the yellow color quite stands out and is a very bright color. But for the interior as well, there will also be only one bedroom, so this house can fit up to 2 Sims, but not more than that. But if you want to like add in a basement for a room, I guess you can do that, but that is up to you. But for the interior as well, I also tried to include a lot of like plants and also some portraits of plants, because I imagine that the house that I built here is very well blended with nature as well, so there are a lot of like natural elements in this house. But I also tried to make it look a bit rustic or like cottagey vibe, something like that, and I guess I did that really good for this one. And yeah, I think that is basically it for the whole concept of the interior. But I tried to experiment with a different kitchen, I would say, for the interior, but you will see after this that I will be doing a different kind of kitchen, because it is not the type of kitchen that I usually do for any of my builds, and I was really excited to try like new stuff, and I think I managed to like do it well for this build. But for the wall decorations as well, you can see that I also added in like very random wall decorations, and I also managed to include a fireplace. I couldn't find a yellow fireplace. I mean, there were several yellow fireplaces, but I didn't really like the design that came with it. And a lot of the yellow fireplaces came with packs like more towards like the vampires pack and also traditional packs. I didn't really want to do a traditional type of build for this one. I guess it's more of suburban mixed with like cottage or something like that, but I didn't want to do a traditional one. I wanted to make it a bit more modern. But yeah, as you can see, for this kitchen I also used the yellow counters from the country kitchen kit. And I really like the kitchen because I kind of made this like wall and then I removed it, and it made the kitchen look like it's like half of the space, but it is not covered. So I just added in that beam that you can auto insert from the build menu, and also added in a curtain next to it because I wanted to make the kitchen look as cozy as possible and not so like very kitchenish. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I didn't really want the kitchen to look like a like full built kitchen. It is like a mixture between a kitchen and a normal space room, I guess. But for the wall decorations, I didn't really do much, but I did add in the top cabinets only on one side of the kitchen. So I guess that's a new thing for me, because usually whenever I do kitchens, I usually put the like top cabinets all around where the counters are, so that each counter has a cabinet. And so I decided to try something new and just switch it up a little bit and just added in the cabinets to one side of the room. But next to the kitchen is going to be the dining room over here, and the dining room is pretty much yellow. I decided to use the chairs from the Laundry Day stuff pack and also the table from the Island Living pack, which I rarely use, especially in the color yellow, and so I decided that I wanted to use it, and I thought that it looked better much that way because it kind of looks rustic but not too traditional. But for the curtains, I just ended up like adding the same curtain all over the house except for the bedroom. I think I will be adding a different type of curtain which comes from the base game, but it is quite a small house, so like I could only fit like one bedroom. But yeah, if you like it, please let me know in the comments if you like it or not. And yeah, I guess that is it as well for my comments. But anyways, we are moving on to the top floor right now, and the top floor is where the bedroom is. The bedroom is pretty much yellow as well. There are not a lot of colors. Like I said in the beginning, I said there are only like yellow, blues, and reds in this build, and I tried to keep the colors consistent because I wanted to make sure that everything blends well. But for the bedroom over here, the bedroom also has this study table from the Seasons pack, and I think for the number of packs that I use for this build, there are only like several packs, but the main ones are like Seasons, that is for sure, and also base game, and a tiny bit of eco lifestyle because I did end up using the sink for the bathroom, even though it has like a hose next to it which is hanging on to the sink, but I didn't think that it mattered when I built this house. But there's also this outdoor balcony over here which I end up furnishing it with a chess table. And now we are working on the last part of the build, which is the back part of the house, which is the backyard. And I really love the backyard because I found this structure over here from the base game. I'm not sure what section it is under, but I found this thing with flowers on top of it and I instantly fell in love with it, so I decided to use it for the backyard. And I wanted to make sure that the backyard kind of looks very peaceful and serene, but at the same time filled with a lot of flowers, and so I decided to do that using that structure. But as you can see, for the landscaping of the back part, it is very like green and yellow, and I also used the mushrooms that came with the Discovery University pack, which I never used before, and I really like it because it kind of looks magical, and so I decided to use them to make it look like a cutesy vibe going on over here. But I also ended up adding those lanterns, the white ones that came with the Seasons pack, which I really like, and also that pond, which I'm not sure which pack it's from. I think it's from City Living or Get Together. I'm not so sure because that's the first time I used that. But anyways, we are going to be approaching the end soon, so I really hope you guys will like this build. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and comment if you want to. Once again, you can download this build on the gallery under my ID, which is simmerkhai, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!